Have you ever looked at the landscape of MS treatments and had a thought that just sticks with you? A question that seems so obvious, yet the answer remains elusive. You see the incredible progress, the powerful medications, and you think, wait a minute, if science can develop these sophisticated drugs to slow down multiple sclerosis progression, why haven't they figured out how to repair the damage that's already been done? Why can't we fix the myelin? It feels like we're only solving half the problem. And as you scroll through forums, news articles, and personal stories, maybe that initial question spirals into something a little darker, a little more cynical. You start to wonder, are they not trying because keeping people sick makes more money? It's an uncomfortable thought, but a common one. The logic seems to follow. Chronic treatments mean lifelong customers for pharmaceutical companies. A one-time cure? Not so much. So what's the real answer to this billion-dollar question? It's a resounding no. That conspiracy theory, while born from a place of understandable frustration, doesn't hold up. Scientists, neurologists, and researchers are absolutely, unequivocally trying to repair myelin. In fact, they've been working on it for decades. The problem isn't a lack of effort or a secret plot, it's that repairing the human central nervous system is one of the most profoundly difficult biological problems we have ever attempted to solve. It's a challenge on par with curing Alzheimer's or reversing aging. And honestly, we need to take a step back and acknowledge something. The fact that we can slow MS at all is already a modern medical miracle. Just a few decades ago, a diagnosis was a completely different story. The development of disease-modifying therapies, or DMTs, has fundamentally changed the prognosis for millions. But we know that's not enough. It doesn't fix the past. If that's true, if brilliant people are working on this around the clock, why don't we already have a myelin repair pill? And why does it feel to so many people living with the daily realities of MS that progress is taking forever? The gap between a headline about a promising mouse study and a treatment you can actually get is a chasm of waiting and wondering. We're going to break all of that down today. We're going to unpack the science, the setbacks, and the genuine signs of hope. If you're new here, welcome. This channel is where we break down the complexities of multiple sclerosis simply with no doom, just truth. We believe that understanding is a form of power, and if you're living with MS, love someone who is, or are just trying to understand this disease, you are in the right place. This channel exists to make MS make sense, to cut through the noise and give you the real story. So hit that subscribe button and join our community. Let's talk about what's really happening behind the scenes of myelin repair research, so you can be an informed, empowered patient or advocate. Because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear, no-nonsense understanding of, first, why slowing the damage is like fighting a fire, while reversing it is like rebuilding the house from the ashes, and why one is so much harder. Second, why so many of those exciting miracle repair headlines you see in the news seem to vanish and never become actual treatments available at your pharmacy. Third, what specific approaches scientists are actually testing in labs and in human trials right now, the real, tangible strategies being pursued. And finally, we'll circle back and examine whether that they make more money keeping us sick theory really holds up under scrutiny when you understand the science and the market. Let's get into it. Let's be honest. It's a thought that creeps in, usually late at night or after another frustrating doctor's appointment. At some point, many of us have had the thought, even if we don't say it out loud, maybe they don't want to cure this. Maybe the real business isn't in curing people, but in treating them forever. I mean, the logic seems almost undeniable at first glance. You get diagnosed with a chronic condition. It's a life-altering moment. Then you see the staggering numbers, billions, even trillions, spent on healthcare globally. You hear about medications costing thousands of dollars a month, prices that seem completely disconnected from reality. And naturally, your brain, trying to make sense of it all, connects the dots. A patient with a chronic illness is a recurring customer. A cure is a one-time sale. Something feels deeply suspicious. It's not a crazy question. It doesn't make you a conspiracy theorist. It's actually a very human, very rational question when you're facing a broken system. But here's where the logic of that conspiracy starts to fall apart, and where things get genuinely interesting. If pharmaceutical companies only wanted recurring revenue from managing symptoms, why would they invest billions trying to create treatments that work better, last longer, and have fewer side effects than their own existing profitable drugs? Why would they spend fortunes trying to prevent progression, effectively reducing the long-term severity and treatment needs of the disease? And why on earth would researchers dedicate their entire careers to the incredibly difficult science of remyelination, of actually repairing the damage? Most MS researchers aren't sitting in a secret underground volcano headquarters stroking cats and plotting how to keep your left leg confused. They're usually exhausted scientists staring at microscopes, fueled by coffee and frustration, wondering why cells stubbornly refuse to cooperate. The real answer is competition. The first company to find a cure for MS, or Alzheimer's, or diabetes doesn't just get a one-time sale. They win the entire market, making every other treatment obsolete overnight. That's the multi-billion-dollar prize. Here's where people get tripped up. Slowing MS and repairing MS sound similar. They're not. Imagine your house catches fire. Stopping the fire from spreading is not the same thing as rebuilding the house. Disease-modifying therapies are mostly trying to stop the fire. Remyelination is rebuilding the house. One is difficult, the other is insanely difficult. Because scientists aren't trying to repair a scrape on your arm, they're trying to repair the most complex wiring system known to exist. Your brain, no pressure. Let's talk about the challenge. To repair myelin, scientists need the right cells, in the right place, at the right time, to wrap around the right nerve fibers, without causing new problems. That's like trying to replace insulation on thousands of miles of electrical wiring while the city is still using the electricity, and the wiring keeps moving, and nobody gave you a map. Easy. Nuri would probably look at that job description and immediately request PTO. The reality is that damaged nerves often experience inflammation, scar tissue, axonal injury, cellular changes. So simply telling the body, hey, make more myelin, doesn't always work. Every few months, you'll see headlines like, breakthrough, myelin repair discovered, MS cure possible. Then a few years later, nothing. Why? Because many of those discoveries happen in mice, in petri dishes, in very early studies. And that's not failure, that's science. Step 1, can we make it work in a lab? Step 2, can we make it work in animals? Step 3, can we make it work in humans? Step 4, can we make it work safely? Step 5, can we make it work consistently? That's a long road, sometimes decades long. Here's the part that gets overlooked. Scientists aren't just trying, they're trying from multiple directions. Researchers are studying remyelination therapies, stem cell approaches repair-promoting molecules, neural protection, regenerative medicine, combination therapies. Think of it like attacking the problem from every angle. They're not saying, we'll get around to it eventually. They're saying, this is one of the biggest goals in MS research, and that's why major conferences keep discussing repair strategies year after year. Because everyone wants the same thing, a way to restore function, not just preserve it. This part is frustrating. Science moves slower than hope. Hope moves at internet speed. Science moves at evidence speed. When you live with MS every day, waiting 5 years feels like forever. Waiting 10 years feels impossible. But in medical research, those timelines aren't unusual, especially when you're talking about repairing the central nervous system. The challenge isn't having ideas. The challenge is proving they actually work. The honest answer? Nobody knows when. But we know this. Scientists haven't given up. Researchers aren't ignoring myelin repair. And the idea that nobody is trying simply isn't supported by what's happening in MS research. The better question isn't, why aren't they trying? The better question is, how close are we? And that's the question researchers around the world are working on every single day. Will we eventually see meaningful remyelination therapies? Maybe. Will they look like the miracle cures people imagine? Maybe not. But the science is moving forward, even when it feels painfully slow. If you've ever wondered whether myelin repair research was real, it is. If you've wondered whether scientists are actively working on it, they are. And if you've ever felt frustrated that progress seems slow, you're definitely not alone. The gap between a promising headline and a treatment you can actually access can feel enormous. The truth is that repairing the human nervous system may be one of the hardest challenges medicine has ever faced. It's a puzzle of breathtaking complexity, but that's very different from nobody trying. So, what can you watch for as a sign of real progress? Look for clinical trials actively recruiting patients for remyelination. Look for studies that are replicated across different research centers, not just one-off successes. And pay attention when scientists start agreeing on biomarkers, those measurable signs, like specific MRI results that prove a repair is actually happening. And honestly, the fact that researchers can already slow MS progression more effectively than they could 20 years ago gives me reason to believe the next chapter of MS treatment may look very different from the last one. We've learned that slowing the damage is critical, but it's not the same as rebuilding. We've seen why exciting lab findings can stall on the long road to becoming medicine. And now, we see science moving deliberately toward the ultimate goal: repair. If this video helped make MS make a little more sense, subscribe and join us, because around here, we take complicated MS topics and explain them like normal humans. We cut through the hype and the headlines to give you the context you need to be an informed, empowered patient or supporter. No doom, just truth. And a reminder that while this video is for educational purposes and is not medical advice, knowledge is its own form of power. Thanks for watching.